Today, I'd like to talk about traveling in a car with a dog. If the upholstery of your car is made out of leather, a dog's claws can do some serious damage to it. Our current dog is small enough that he can actually stand on the console between the seats. Previously, we protected this leather by throwing a towel across it. But last time I detailed the inside of the car, I found this. A very small scratch mark made by his claws. Obviously, a towel's not going to cut it. We need to go a little bit more extreme. So, in this video, I'm going to tell you how to protect your console with steel. Of course, we're still interested in our pooch's comfort, so there will be a foam pad mounted on the steel. Then the whole thing will be wrapped in felt to protect the upholstery. Finally, a little bit of non-skid on the bottom to keep it from moving. We're going to build this out of an old bed frame. I'd like to thank Leanne for donating her bed to the cause, and some sheet metal I salvaged out of a microwave I was tearing apart. Here's how this is going to work. First off, we give them the run of the entire back seat using this special platform. See the link above for how I built this platform in an earlier video. Then the center console will have the metal platform we built covered by a towel. Let's see this system in action. The metal platform distributes his weight across the console, protects the consoles from his claws, and when he sits on the back of the towel, it keeps the whole thing from moving. Let's get started building this. First, we build this metal frame slightly larger than your console. I'll be using steel from an old bed frame. Hey, the price was right. My first mistake I made was I thought this was a small project, so I didn't set up my plasma cutter. As a result, it took me about 4 times longer to cut all my steel. But at least I proved that you can do this without expensive equipment. You need to make 2 different types of cuts. The sides of the frame will be a standard perpendicular cut, while the top will be cut at 45 degrees. Now we can weld this thing up. The machine I'm using is a Hypertherm PowerMax XP30 MIG welder. Currently I'm running on a 240 volt outlet, but the nice thing about this machine is, for thin steel like this, I could plug it into a regular 120 volt outlet. Believe it or not, it'll work off of both. So if your wife's not home, you could go do this welding inside your living room. Okay, now the frame is welded, we have a little bit of a problem. Bed frames have all kinds of holes and slots in them. Unfortunately, one of those slots wound up right here in my corner. But this is a really easy fix. You want to take a big chunk of brass and clamp it on the back side where the hole is. Cover the hole. Now turn your project over and use your welder to fill the hole. The brass acts like a giant heat sink, so the steel you're welding on will melt and it won't stick to the brass because it doesn't get hot enough. That'll leave a pretty smooth surface on the back side. Break out your flap disc and do a quick grind job on the side you just welded. Next thing you know, that hole is gone. However, if it seems like it's taken a long time to grind it down, take a look at your flap disc. It could be worn out like this one. Take the time to replace it with a new one like this. Consumables can make welding quite an expensive hobby. Now that the frame is welded up, let's mark our sheet metal. Our microwave. Now we can cut it out. Oh brother, I should have used the plasma cutter. Let's speed it up a little. This is 700% faster than normal. Head back over to the welder. Weld the sheet metal onto the top of your frame. Tack welds will be fine. Back to your grinder and remove all the sharp edges from the sheet metal. Safety first. Once the welding's done, break out your alcohol. In this case, 99% pure isopropyl. Same stuff I use when I'm building electronic circuits. You want to clean your entire project to remove rust, oil, grease, or anything else that'll keep paint from sticking to it. Now you can use spray paint to paint it. In the immortal words of Henry Ford, you can have any color you want as long as it's black. This is the bottom of the metal frame. And we flip it over. This is the side our trusty pooch will be standing on. But we really don't want him standing on a chunk of steel. That's why we're going to install some high-density foam. This is some pretty remarkable stuff, like your memory foam on your bed. We'll attach the foam to the steel using this spray adhesive. Once you figure out the spray pattern of the adhesive, it gets a lot easier to get a nice even coating. One of the simplest clamping methods I know, big chunks of steel. Okay, we're glued. Let's put some felt on this thing. Previous project showed me spray adhesive and felt aren't a good mix. So I go back to my perfect attach all tool, vinyl tape. It sticks to anything and everything. To beef it up, I apply the vinyl tape to the edge, fold it over, and stick it on the other side as well. Trim it to match the inside of your platform. Tape those edges up. Now use vinyl tape to attach the vinyl tape to the steel. To do the ends, this cut pattern works pretty well. You fold the side flaps in, then the main flap up and over them. Here's a quick review. Build a steel platform and cover it with felt. This worked really well until I detailed my car. The leather conditioner made it pretty slick, and the platform had a bit of trouble staying in place even with the metal lips. But never fear, we have a solution. On the bottom side, apply an extra strip of vinyl tape. Then use hot glue on that strip and all the way around the edges. Then a layer of non-skid on top of the glue. Now the platform stays in place. You can put your towel on to color match your car's paint job, and you're good to go. This system works awfully well when I'm in the car. But a sharp-eyed watcher may have asked the question, how do you protect the leather in your front seats when you have to leave your dog unattended in the car? Well, here's some bonus material for those people that stuck with me through this video. You build yourself one of these. I call it the net. Make a bungee cord that goes between the two seat headrests. Then sew up a piece of cloth and attach it to the bungee cord so it falls down between the two seats. And there you have it. Your upholstery is now protected. That is until the dog soaking wet hops in the car and then shakes. I'll leave that fix up to you.